So this is a really busy time of year for the RSGB. We're here at the National Hamfest at the moment, and this is a great opportunity for us to bring lots of people from RSGB HQ, the staff. You normally see those on the bookstall, but we also bring the committees, the chairman of the committees, and the experts from those committees as well, so that people visiting get a chance to ask them the technical questions, talk to the people who really know. So great opportunity for us to do that. Then soon after this, we then go to the convention that we run every year. That's an opportunity for people to talk to world experts in their field, ask them questions as well, and hopefully find out something new in amateur radio that might interest them. If we go back a little bit, then we had YOTA, which was Youngsters on the Air 2017. We ran that for the IARU Region 1. Then we had 80 youngsters from 27 countries at Gilwell Park, just outside London. And we were really amazed at the skills and the interest that those youngsters had in all sorts of parts of amateur radio. It was really great to see them trying all sorts of new things. One of the things we did there is we made a video specifically for the IARU Region 1 conference, which highlighted the things that youngsters were finding interesting in amateur radio in the future, and Nick actually attended that conference.
Yeah, thanks Steve. One of my jobs as president is representation of the RSGB, and actually the RSGB represents amateur radio in a broader sense. So I've just been to the IRU conference in Germany with a great team of RSGB volunteers representing really high levels of skill and competence in the matters that are discussed there. And I think that's one side of what goes on in the RSGB which members don't see a lot of, but is very important indeed. IARU Region 1 represents Europe, Africa and the Middle East, so the representatives of a large number of countries in that area. We were there for a week and there was pretty intensive discussion of matters to do with the spectrum, which is so vital to amateur radio. We don't have a frequency, don't have an amateur radio, and also particularly and increasingly the problem of interference, which is now affecting all countries to a greater or lesser extent. One particular feature of the IARU conference this year was thinking about the future of amateur radio. That tied in really well, and the RSGB work at the YOTA camp this year was featured in a very satisfying kind of way, but it did get us all thinking about how we promote amateur radio and how we develop amateur radio in the years ahead. And that's something as a society which we're doing. The preparation at IARU is for the World Radio Conference, which is in 2019, and that's where decisions are taken about spectrum use for the future. So it's really important that we are represented and at a good level. So I was really grateful for all the volunteers who came with me to that event. They were also given 3 awards, which was terrific. 2 Region 1 awards and also a memorial award, which is their highest award. So the RSGB was well represented, and I think the interests of amateur radio in Britain was very well represented as well. That's about representation at a sort of international level. I'm now going to turn to Graham, who's going to talk about it at our national level here in the UK.
Okay, thank you, Nick. As he says, he represented the RSGB on an international basis, and one of the key issues we have, not only in the UK but on an international front, is EMC problems, electromagnetic compatibility problems, known to many of us as interference. We're working with Ofcom to try and address many of these, and the really hot topic of the moment is VDSL problems, basically high-speed broadband problems that is being rolled out ever increasingly across the UK. The dilemma we have is there are some 10 million lines of VDSL installed in the UK, and we have to date somewhat under 100 people that say they have problems with it. So for us to go to Ofcom and BT and talk about less than 100 problems in 10 million installations is really quite a challenge to make sure it's taken seriously. Many of you will have completed the VDSL survey that we've been running for the last month or so, and we now have over 1,000 returns, which is going to make our job much simpler in terms of convincing BT and Ofcom that there really are some issues. So that's a key area we're working in at the moment. Something else that's causing a lot of concern inside the UK is repeater abuse. We have several hundred repeaters in operation, and a very small number of them do suffer from gross verbal abuse. Over the last month, we've been working with Ofcom on a process that is common between the RSGB and Ofcom on how to address this. It tells you what to do if it's occurring to your repeater. Equally important, it's telling you what not to do, and that's equally important. And very soon we expect to have on both the Ofcom website and the RSGB website the process, so that wherever you look you will see a common process that needs to be followed if this is a problem in your area. Third point that I'd just like to use is many of you will have seen in the October RADCOM, you'll have seen the Ofcom Compliance and Enforcement Officer, Amy Hemming, has written an article about how Ofcom are tracking problem products, and it tells you how to report those products. So if you've got a problem with a known product, go to the October RADCOM, go to the website and have a look at how to report the problem, and then hopefully things will be done about it much more effectively and efficiently. Effective and efficient communications is really what all these things are about. Getting the message across about VDSL, getting the message across about abuse, and getting the message across about products that are causing problems. It's all about communications. And what I want to do is pass over to Heather, who is really going to talk about how to make those communications more efficient and effective. Heather.
You've heard just a small part of the range of services that we offer to radio amateurs, and one of the challenges for us as a society, but also particularly for me as communications manager, is how we communicate that effectively, as Graham has said. When you interviewed me 4 years ago and I just started the job, we were looking at social media and how people gain the news from us. Using the feedback that we've received then, we've since launched a Facebook page, Twitter profile and a YouTube channel, and we're now reaching nearly 163,000 people per month just on that platform. However, social media is just a small part of what we do. We also use GB2RS each week, RADCOM each month, and obviously the website to reach people in different ways. Equally, we reach out to clubs every month by sending them a club newsletter, and every quarter I write a regional briefing that the regional team take out to the clubs when they go and visit, and we make sure that all the key messages are there. One of the other communications channels that we've been developing is the website. We've started to bring together a group of pages for events like YOTA and the Tim Peake contacts last year. But we're also aware that not everybody likes social media, not everybody finds it easy to use. So we've created a live updates page which brings together all three social media channels and our news feed onto a live updates page, which means people can see all of our news in one place, and hopefully that will make it easy for them to follow what we're saying. Everybody likes to receive their news in different ways, and we are trying to reach people in different ways. One of the criticisms that we've had as a society in the past, which has probably been very fair, is that we haven't been talking to mainstream media sufficiently. I think we're addressing that recently, and that's shown particularly in the coverage that we receive from YOTA. Across all of the channels, all the platforms, mainstream media, amateur radio media and everything, our potential reach was 4.6 million. So I would say that we're just going some way to address that balance. We've also been delighted by the response that we've had to the development of our YouTube channel. We've now got over 1,000 subscribers, we've got 48 videos, and we're receiving regular requests from other national societies in Europe to dub our videos into their languages because they think they're so effective at explaining amateur radio to people. So that's just a small part of what we're doing. Appreciate that there's always more that we could do. But all of the things that we've talked about here, engaging with radio amateurs, representing them at regional and national and international level, and how we communicate with them in a better way, it's all wrapped up as part of the strategy that will take us through to 2022. And you can find out more about that on our website.